Will the Chiefs be looked at as the best dynasty in NFL history with the three-peat? Now, we know we said all the things about the Patriots. 20-year run, 6 championships. There was a 10-year gap with no championships. They went to the Super Bowl a couple times during that 10 years. 07, lost to the Giants. 2011, lost to the Giants. But they weren't able to get arguing the pause. It's crazy. They weren't able to get it done. But Bang, to your point, I do believe that 10-year, I guess, like retooling phase was needed. And there's a lot of things with the Chiefs that people aren't, talking about as much. You know what happens when Travis Kelce ultimately decides to retire to do shitty Peacock movies? What's going to happen when Andy Reid's like, you know what? I've had it. I'm finna go back home, chill. I've got 4 championship rings, do my thing. That's a big thing too, depending on the roster and the coach and things like that. But if they win on Sunday, they will be the first team in the 59 years of the Super Bowl era of the NFL, which is the only era that counts. Because if we count the prior eras, then the Bears are considered title town, as I said weeks ago. We count segregation era titles. Yeah, in the Super Bowl era, it has never been done before. That will put them on a pantheon of their own. Deion Sanders said there's rooms in the Hall of Fame, but there's levels of the rooms in the Hall of Fame. That puts them on a place that's different than the New England Patriots. It's different than the 90s Cowboys. It's different than the 80s Niners or the Steel Curtain Pittsburgh Steelers. They will be in their own room. So, in my personal opinion, I can't say that they would, but they would have a very good arguing point for them. Very good argument. The thing that I stick out why I think the Patriots are still number one is because they had 2 dynasties. They won 3 championships with a back-to-back in the first go-round, and then won 3 championships in the second go-round with 2 completely different styles. The first 3 championships, you can say that was a team that was built on a great defense and had a good enough offense around it. The final 3, even though they had some number 2 and number 1 and number 2 ranked defenses during that time, that was more of an offensive type team with the Brady, the Gronks, the Edelmans, and things like that. And even before they won a championship, Aaron Hernandez, as funny as that sounds right now, we're talking about Aaron Hernandez on the field, they were an offensively more potent team. But I do believe the Chiefs will definitely have an argument if they can get this done. Dante, what do you think a three-peat would do for the Chiefs and these greatest dynasties of all time arguments? And it'll be the first North American three-peat in 23 years since Kobe and Shaq did in 2002.
What it means for me in terms of in historic terms, I think it puts them up there with, not with the Patriots, because the Patriots won double the championship. So I think it's way too early to put them up there with the Patriots, and we need to put more respect on what the Patriots did. But in terms of three-peats, I think this would go down as one of the best three-peats of all time, simply because when you look at how difficult it is to do this in football with the way free agency works and the way teams are built, you really got to tip your cap to this. I think more than anything, this will add more to Andy Reid's legacy as one of the greatest offensive minds and one of the greatest coaches we've ever had. It's fun, funny that he is the all-time win. I believe he's the all-time wins leader for both franchises playing in the Super Bowl. And I think he's helped. I think he's coached to every offensive record for both teams, damn near. So I mean, this is more so one of those games where you see the legacy of Andy Reid being lifted, because he has done so many great things. But in terms of the Chiefs, there have been some great runs in the NFL. In the modern era, I think this would probably put them second in the modern era. But still not in the Patriots ballpark yet, simply because they were dominant for so long. But I know we like to only count Super Bowl victories, but you got to count the AFC championships. This they lost 2 to Eli. They lost 1 to.
They lost 2 to Eli.
Yeah, they lost 2 to Eli. They lost 1 to Russell. I was supposed to say Russell Simmons, Russell Wilson in Seattle.
Who lost to Seattle?
Tom Brady.
When did he lose to Seattle? They beat Seattle. In 2014, they beat Seattle. Remember they didn't get the ball to Marshawn. They lost the three Super Bowl losses they had, twice to the Giants, one to the Eagles.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Lost to the Eagles in the shootout with the Nick Foles shit.
Yeah.
So, you still have those 3 losses, but that's 9 that they went to, G.
It was 10. 10. Remember they lost to it was 10. They won. No. You're right. They went to 9. My bad. I'm tripping.
Yeah. So you still like that's a lot, G. So they're not in that ballpark yet. They like as much as we want to put them there, and I think that's more so just a product of our generation, and we always want to give people their flowers and call people legends and say you legendary, you the greatest to do it, and like nigga, no, they not. So it's one of those things where I think they're number 2, but they're not even in the ballpark yet because it's just so much. It's so much that the Patriots actually accomplished.
Longevity, bro.
Yeah.
Like when they won their first, this is how I always remember the Patriots run. Their first championship was the first time I ever threw a Super Bowl party. I was 13 years old. So they won their first championship, I was 13. When they won their final championship, I was 30. That is a long time right there. Before we go to Bang, shout out to Mike B. One dude, some dude in the chat right now. He's reporting live from the Royal Rumble. Shout out to I'm Not Gonna Hold You squad. Bang, man, what you think 3-peat will do for the Chiefs?
Shit, it would make them one of the greatest organizations of all time. It'd put them in that conversation. But as far as dynasty goes, I wouldn't put it as like one of the greatest. It'd be definitely a great moment. But to me, you got, of course, the Patriots. But I'm still putting I'm at least putting the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s, the 49ers in the 80s ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs because of what they did for that whole entire decade. And then they were still good. And they got a chance to beat them, but no, I'm still putting them ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs. But they definitely ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. I will say that they definitely ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. But they will be able to say they did something that no other franchise have done. So they would have their own special place. Like you was talking about Hall of Fame rooms. They have a room, though. They have a room that they could go to. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, they could go kick it because they got their own special room. But they still got to compete against those other dynasties.
So cool. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not